Thank you.
Do we have a question in the house? Right over here on our right. Go ahead and stand up. Thank you.
It's a great movie. I love it. I have a question about the long scenes, and I was wondering if you allow any sort of improvisation, or if you really, really like to stick to the script, like exactly.
Mr. Linklater, do you allow improvisation from your actors?
Never. No, believe it or not, it's supposed to seem improvised, but there's never been any improvisation in what you would call improv in any of the 3 movies we've done. So it's all scripted and workshopped and rehearsed. That's the...
One of the things, because it's a long takes, people think that we can improv, but the truth is it means nothing can be fixed in editing. You can't cut out a bad line, you can't cut out a bad gesture, or something phony. So, Rick...
Yeah, these guys work really hard. I think they don't...
Like, he makes us work really
well, yeah.
We do it, I don't understand.
But I don't think Julie and Ethan get the credit. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do this if they weren't great actors. You wouldn't be able to do that.
We have another question way up in the back. It's kind of hard to see, but if you stand up, kind of wave your
right here in
arm.
the
Thank
center.
you.
Right here. Almost. A little bit up. Oh,
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Hi, I think I can speak for everyone when we say we're all sad that this is going to be the last one. Unless 10 years later. No,
You said it's going to be the last
Oh.
Does a trilogy mean the end of something?
Trilogy and counting.
Yeah, it's the accidental trilogy so far, so we don't know what the future is, but we haven't said, we feel the same way we did after the second one.
We never would have thought we would have made 3 of them. I mean, so who knows where this thing is taking anybody.
Yeah, but
it could be the end, but
it always could be.
I mean, one of us could die, too. So.
That's what I
A lot of stuff happens in 9 years. I mean,
Yeah, but I'd be totally surprised 9 years from now.
We have another question down here on
stand
our
up.
left. Could you stand up, sir?
Stand up.
Thank you so much. Oh, wait, sorry, sir. If you just wait, we'll bring a microphone to you here in the center. We have another one actually over here. Yeah, thank you, and then we'll come to you, I promise.
Yes, hi. All 3 movies seem to have a reoccurring topic of death. Could you speak to that?
well, you just heard it.
well, time, you know. Time, death,
Mortality.
logic. I'm being rational and logical.
I think there's a lot of
And
things
emotional.
there's a lot of things that permeate all 3 movies, I think, not just that.
But the movies do center around time, whether the first movie was one night together and the second film is real time.
That's what I just said. But in short, time, death. Go ahead, sweetie.
But
Go
there's
ahead.
other things.
No, I lost
There's-
That felt like castration almost, right? I'm so sorry. I have a tendency
You
to
see
do
how
that
we
with men.
work
It's
together.
horrible. I castrate everybody. No, go ahead, sweetie, please.
I don't feel castrated.
Okay.
I'm getting excited.
No, go ahead, sweetie.
No, let's move on. First castration, then they call you sweetie. That's how it goes.
So we'll segue right over here to sir. Go ahead, stand up. Thank you for waiting.
So you're making the sequel to a beloved series. You've left it open to the fact that you might decide to do a 4th one in 9 years. But does it ever cross your mind, what if we fuck up? What if, I mean, this is, I think, not just the best one in the series, but one of the best movies I've seen in a few years.
Wow.
Does it cross your mind? Like, what if
It's so terrifying.
It's a scary
Terror.
thought. We did that the
Sheer
second
terror.
time in Paris. We were all realizing, oh gosh, if we, because that first one was special to us, but if you screw up the next one,
And this one I was especially
cheapens-
scared.
Yeah, and this one
Scary.
was even scarier still. So yeah,
Because the 2 first films, they flirt, you know? So the second film, in a way, it was difficult, but they were still flirting and meeting again. This one, they're together, you know? It's scary. So,
harder to make. It was harder to shape that into.
I'm not seeing nothing. I've been castrated.
But your question, that does motivate one to be afraid of something a little
Yeah.
bit. It makes you work harder. That's for sure.
Yeah, I remember when we were doing the second one, Rick, well, actually, Julie and I were writing a scene, and Rick said, "How long has it been since you guys seen the first movie?" And we're like, "Why?" Because that is in the first movie.
What you just said is in the first movie, so maybe we should watch that movie so we don't repeat a scene.
It is important, or as much as anyone else may or may not like the movies, they're really important to us as people and in our lives, and so the idea that we could undermine the first two was terrifying.
It's very stressful when
But
we
ultimately,
write.
you just have to let it go. But that was the big challenge of the third one.
Okay, we have another question way back in the back center as well.
Hi. So since you know these characters better than anybody else, do you believe they stay together in the future?
I know myself better than anybody else, and I don't know if I'm gonna stay together. Yeah.
I'm glad you like the possible ambiguity. Most people seem to fall on one side or the other. They seem to have definite ideas about that. But
Well, I think they have it at night, and then they'll see what the next.
yeah,
As nobody knows when they're married.
No, we don't know really. Actually, no. Do you know? No.
no. In 5 or 6 years, we'll know. We'll have figured it out.
Yeah.
We have
And-
another. Oh.
Thank you. And Julie, your tits look great. Even better now than American in Paris.
Yes! It's not every Q&A you hear that. Hey! Julie, your tits look great. You heard it here, folks. Yeah, that should be that. That's a note to distributors. Before midnight. Your tits look great. Anybody talks about tits, I light up.
Pretty much sleeping the whole time.
We joked about
We
this.
have to do that to wake him up because we had to add that scene. So
This was going to be our porn film. Julie was like, "You better hurry and film me before this is the last year."
the last porn chance for a porn. Thank you. I like that people say that. That's nice. Thank you. I can't see you, but see you at the party.
Julie's been trying. Let's face it. Julie's been trying to get tits in the other movies.
Stop talking about it.
Finally, we had a place for her.
We have
I'll
another.
give you her number in a minute.
We have another question right over here.
Actually, can I talk about my tits for a second? Someone asked. No, I want to make a point out of it. No, someone asked me, it's like, do you feel exploited because your tits are in the film? And no, anyway, it's the opposite. I mean, isn't like the whole feminist movement? I mean, I don't know. My mom was like doing demonstration topless in the late '60s. So I figured, it's a statement. It's actually a feminist statement to me. Fuck you. Here are my tits.
Well, as I remember, your tits, or at least one of your tits, was in the crew photo from Vienna.
Yeah, that's
back in
true.
the day, So Julie's not that honest.
Let's not get into that. Go. Next.
Okay, this I think is our last question, but go ahead.
Perfect segue. Just had a question about the genesis of the locations for each film. Do you have the idea and the film written first before you choose the location, or does the location drive the film?
No, usually all 3 of these films we could have shot probably anywhere. Like the gist of it is just the characters, and the location comes pretty late. And this one, it came really late, so like 12 weeks before
They then become a part of the character of the movie.
We work it in.
And it takes on a meaning, but it's always the last piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, it's not what's on the
It's amazing to
forefront
shoot
of
there,
our
though.
thinking
I mean-
when we do. Yeah, it ends up always the perfect place, but it's not what we talk about in that few year gestation period from the time we decide Jesse and Celine are going to be alive again to actually making the movie. There's a few years in there, and location isn't usually the main thing we're talking about.
Well, thank you guys so much.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.